I've spent 3 decades reverse engineering the human mind to show you how you can use it to know what somebody's thinking when they meet you, or if somebody was telling you the truth or lying. So let's do something fun. Imagine that in front of you was an invisible deck of cards. Spread them out in front of you. And now I want you to reach down and imagine you just grab a card at random. Now look at it, look at me. Okay, close your eyes. Hold your hand out, please. Now, before you open your eyes, tell us, what was that card?
3 of diamonds.
Open your eyes. Take a look. And it's not magic. I can teach you this.
이건 초능력이 아니라 철저히 계산된 심리학입니다. 월스트리트 출신 멘탈리스트 오즈 펄먼이 공개하는 마음 읽는 기술 3가지.
And these secrets, these habits, they're applicable all throughout life. So trust me, you don't want to miss the rest of this.
Oz Pearlman walked away from Wall Street to become the world's leading mentalist, unlocking the skills we need
to read people, win trust, spot a liar, and influence anyone.
My whole job is to make you believe that I can read minds, but here is the honest truth. That's impossible. But I read people through small, minute details. For example, we're hardwired from thousands of years that if I approach you directly and with 2 eyes, it can create fear, versus if I turn ever so slightly and approach you with 1 eye, that 1 eye is less danger. So it's all about the smallest little nuances. Like think of someone, think of their first name. I got it. 5 letters, isn't it? Tell us all, what is their first name? Jules. So this is a huge tactical advantage when you ask your boss for a raise or when you ask someone out on a date, and I'll explain what to do, as well as how you form habits, eliminating that fear of rejection, and also a fast track for confidence. But the next thing is how to improve your memory, which is a huge secret to success. And I have a tip. I've repurposed the instructions on a shampoo bottle, and the first step is what 95% of us do wrong. So,
Oz Pearlman, you're a guy who can apparently read people's minds. In fact, the book you've just written is called Read Your Mind, Proven Habits for Success from the World's Greatest Mentalist. So for anyone that isn't familiar with your work and what you do, why did you name your book Read Your Mind? And can you read my mind?
So therein lies the dilemma. My whole job is to make you believe that I can read minds, but here is the honest truth. I can't read minds. I wish I could read minds. That's impossible. I read people. Very different skill. This is built on the world of magic, what I do. Misdirection, influence, suggestion. Knowing how people think indicates to me what they think, right? I've spent 3 decades reverse engineering the human mind. I'm teaching you habits for success because the skills that I have at reading people effectively, walking into a room, taking charge, influencing them, all of the things surrounding the entertainment portion are things that apply to everyone. If you can use these secrets, these habits, they're going to lead you to success in your personal life, in your professional life, in your relationships, and that's what I've done. I think that if I had done this same playbook and not been a mentalist, I'd be successful in any field. They're applicable all throughout life.
첫째, 상대를 정면이 아닌 살짝 비껴서 대하는 한눈의 법칙으로 경계심을 즉시 무너뜨리세요.
I learned that if I approach you directly, the same way that animals fear you when they see 2 eyes, versus if I turn ever so slightly and approach your table at an angle, you only see 1 eye, we're hardwired from thousands and thousands of years of avoiding predators, that 1 eye is less danger. Animals aren't as fearful of you.
둘째, 긍정적인 호기심을 자극하는 질문으로 거절할 수 없는 대화의 주도권을 잡으십시오.
Asking people questions that are open-ended, that are inherently positive, almost always generates a great response. Did you hear why? It's your lucky night. Oh, why is it my lucky night? And I say, the owner brought me in as a special treat to do something amazing for you. So now, listen to this. The owner, they know I'm working there. The owner brought me in. I know the owner, social value, social currency, as a special treat. That means you don't need to pay me money. They've paid the bill. Amazing. And then to show you something amazing. So I've given you no point at which to say no. I've given you very few angles to think anything but positive. And I've done this all in hopefully less than 10 seconds. That's the intro.
마지막으로 이름 기억하기 3단계인 샴푸병의 법칙만 익혀도 당신은 어디서나 특별한 존재가 될 것입니다. 샴푸병 뒷면에는 딱 3단어가 적혀 있습니다. lather, rinse, repeat. 거품 내고, 헹구고, 반복하라는 뜻이죠. 멘탈리스트는 이 과정을 이름 기억법으로 치환합니다. 첫째, listen. 둘째, repeat. 마지막, reply.
The first step is what 95% of us do wrong. We don't actually listen. When you hear that person's name, it's not a memory issue. You never even knew the name to begin with. Because right when you walked up to them, just like a computer, read, write, very hard to read and write at the same time for our brains. You were thinking of something else. You were thinking of what you were going to say back to them in most instances. So at that moment, the number one thing to do is actually listen. Quiet your mind. So simple, so easy, but that's when we screw up. Right when I walk up to you, I make sure that I've heard your name because I instantly repeat it twice. Steven, is it Steve or Steven? I want to make sure. I've just said your name 3 times. Already your chance of forgetting it have gone down dramatically. The last one is reply, which is use one of the 3 following tactics. 1, you could learn how to spell it. You have a name that can be spelled. So I go, is it Steven with a V or a PH? And you go with a V, I go, I like Steven with a V better. That's the right way. Am I right? So now I've associated it, Steven with a V. If it's not a name like that, if it's, Jacob, you're not going to spell that. I'm going to say to you, I might comment. I go, Jacob, I love that shirt. Where'd you get that from? The V-necks, Jacob, really sharp. So now I've created a visual hook. You're Jacob with the V-neck shirt. Now I remember you. Third one is if you want, you can do something that's a connector to someone else you know. So if I know a Steven, it's so funny, my sister's dating a guy named Steven, small world. So you've really quickly connected it. That happens in 5 seconds, what I just said. Everyone likes a compliment. Everyone likes a hook. You will not forget that person's name for the rest of the party. I promise you. And this works on people of all ages. They trust you. Why do people listen to you? Great interview questions, but they trust you. That's how you build an audience.
Yeah, I'd feel bad if I duped them. And what is it that you think you know that the average person doesn't know about the human condition?
I know how people think. So I think what I learned at a certain point were skills that are for success in life. Now, let me explain to you. The fear of rejection is something that I think is the number one factor between failure and success, is the fear. Most people don't try to achieve their goals because they're fearful of what will happen if they fail, or they set themselves up for failure instead of for success. What do I mean by that? When I was 14, I'd walk up to you at a restaurant. I talked my way into getting a restaurant gig because I'd been doing magic tricks since I was 13. And I started learning by iterating what makes people, when I walk up to them, comfortable with me, what makes them uncomfortable. I started learning how people think. And it's down to the smallest little nuances.
소통은 타고난 재능이 아니라 어떤 도구를 쓰느냐의 차이입니다. 내일 당장 딱 하나만 적용해 놓으세요. 당신의 가치가 달라질 겁니다. 오늘 배운 3가지 기술, 한눈의 법칙, 긍정적 질문, 그리고 샴푸병의 법칙은 단순히 사람을 속이는 마술이 아닙니다. 타인의 마음을 깊이 읽고 그들과 진심으로 연결되려는 철저하게 계산된 노력입니다. 여러분이 내일 당장 이 중 단 하나만 실천해 본다면 상대방이 여러분을 바라보는 눈빛이 달라지는 것을 즉시 경험하게 될 것입니다. 여러분은 어떤 기술을 가장 먼저 써보고 싶으신가요? 댓글로 공유해 주세요. 앞으로도 이렇게 삶의 질을 높여줄 실질적인 심리학 지식과 가치를 놓치고 싶지 않다면 구독과 좋아요로 저희와 함께 해주세요. 여러분의 작은 실천이 가장 큰 변화의 시작입니다. 오늘 하루도 수고 많으셨습니다.